What's up, everyone? Good evening, good afternoon, and good night. I was trying to do Jim Carrey from that movie, The Truman Show. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah, okay. So let's get started with Saturn in its exalted position. So what happens when Saturn is exalted? And Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra. Why is it exalted there? Well, because Saturn represents the marketplace. Saturn represents the lower class of people. Lower class means, this is ancient way of saying it. That's why I'm, repeatedly, using this kind of a vocabulary. But Saturn just represents the merchants. Like where Jupiter represents the teachers and the gurus, where back in the ancient times, they were like the gods. They were like Kim Kardashians of their time. Any female yogis out there? So yeah, Saturn represents the marketplace, which is the seventh house. Seventh house is the original sign of Libra. And that's where you have everybody in the market exchanging goods and everybody out there, trying to grab all the stuff and do this exchange like stock market, And so Saturn is very good at that, because what Saturn does, he brings order and discipline into the marketplace. He says, okay, everyone, we're going to conduct the business this way. First, you guys go ahead and shop. Second, you guys are going to go ahead and shop. And what we're going to do is we're going to form a line to pay for the merchandise here. And you guys can leave the carts and all your other junk here and then, go to your parking lot, blah, blah, blah. So Saturn is very good at that, because Saturn is discipline and order. And this is where Sun is debilitated in Libra. Because when the king comes into the marketplace, he's just like, he's not given any attention. Nobody cares for him. They all want to make their quick money. Okay, so Saturn, when it's exalted, it really makes a person a very, very genius, quote unquote, businessman. And since Saturn represents steel and it represents iron, the sales of, like literally this represents like being in the business of iron and steel and oil business, because Saturn represents oil as well. But Saturn also represents mechanical things as well. And if it's in conjunction with certain planet, can make someone an engineer. But the thing is, when Saturn is exalted, it gives a person tremendous discipline to start a task and finish a task. Like, these people are not one of those who will start this and then leave it and then start that and leave it and start this and leave it. These people are very disciplined and they know the marketplace. So if you're trying to do business and you realize that the business partner that you're getting has an excelled Saturn, especially in the 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th house, they're gonna bring some money to you. They know the tricks of the trade. They know the right timing. See, Saturn represents the time too, the karmic wave of time. And so Saturn, when it's excelled, these people know, at this time I'm going to do this, and at this time I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to happen. Okay. And so Saturn, not only makes a person disciplined, makes a person very orderly. That these people are always, in order with everything that they do in life. Okay. But Saturn, since it represents the lower kind of people, it makes it like unprivileged people, I should say, unprivileged people. Okay, what this does, this person becomes like a philanthropist. This person becomes somebody who wants to help people. He wants to fight off this social injustice for the people. And so this person will eventually, one point in their life, would want to help society become better, wants to bring those lower class to the upper class, wants to bring the 99% people to that 1% who are controlling the world. And so Saturn exalted, absolutely, this is one of the most powerful exalted position in your house in your horoscope you can have, because Saturn is truly the wealth giving planet. You guys may think it's Venus and Jupiter, and yes, they are, but the way times have changed and what is now considered wealth and how it needs to be attained, Saturn is the most important. People, I mean, I have seen so many charts of successful people who made their money, true money, in Saturn Dasha or Venus Dasha. Because especially Venus is a sign where Saturn is excelled. Okay, but especially people who had excelled Saturn, tremendous amount of money that they make. I know of my friend who is actually he's a real estate developer, but also he owns restaurants, and he came out of nowhere. He came from India and he had literally had $50 in his pocket. He worked in a restaurant, he cleaned in a restaurant. Suddenly he became from a manager to it was a franchise restaurant. So he just going up the ladder, So this is a very powerful placement to have as far as exalted positions are concerned. But, Saturn is that one planet, I think, my own personal opinion, is that it should be excelled in two different places. Because Saturn, it's all about discipline and order. And more than even the Libra, Virgo represents discipline and order. It represents calculative moves with discipline. So I think I've seen people with Saturn and, Virgo doing tremendously well. Just as much as Saturn and Libra. But where other places, Saturn is obviously, the whole chart has to be analyzed. But I think Saturn is that one planet that really, brings success to a person, especially in his Dasha period, because of the fact, in order to be successful, you need discipline and order and calculative move and calculative risks. Like if you have Saturn in the fifth house, exalted. I mean, the stock market or any kind of speculative business, like you're about to start a business and you don't know where it's going to go, but your Saturn is exalted, it most likely it will bring you success, But like I said, success could come later or early depending upon how Sun is placed. But Saturn, definitely is a tremendous money giver. And you want to ask yourself, or you're probably going to ask me, why is it that Saturn brings wealth? Why is it that Saturn really is responsible for wealth and not misery and not delaying of things? Because remember, everything that you're experiencing in this life is based on this universal karmic order. It doesn't have anything to do with God. God is not here to punish you for what you have done. It's just the basic physical laws of this universe. With reaction comes opposite, equal or opposite, reaction. With every action comes every opposite or equal reaction. And that's what it is. So Saturn has been given this duty of judging people's karmas, of judging people what they have done, and he gives them results according to their deeds. And this is why, if Saturn is well placed in your horoscope, that's one position that will tell you that, yeah, you must have done something good in your life and something good will be received in this life. Okay? And Saturn, especially in any of the Venus signs, Taurus or Libra, it does very well. It does very well in Gemini and Virgo. And it does tremendously, becomes very powerful in Aquarius sign. Okay? But, the reason why it just gives wealth is because according to your karmic backlogs, he said, okay, you have this much of bad backlog, okay, you're gonna get this much wealth. You have this much of backlog karma, all right, I'll give you this much wealth. He judges your wealth. He judges how your horoscope will be, pretty much. Saturn judges where exactly each planet is going to be and how your life is going to be. So it's very important, Saturn. So this is why, and Saturn was the true wealth giver according to the, Egyptian beliefs. And the blue sapphire too. In Egypt, gemstones, the pharaohs and gemstones were really big. So blue sapphire has its own distinct power. It may not have anything to do with astrology, but may have direct contact with just Saturn. So yeah, very good placement to have in your horoscope with Saturn being exalted. All right. So guys, this was my analysis on Saturn being exalted in your horoscope. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above. Otherwise, it will get Amun Ra on you. And if you want to know more about astrology and its true secrets, check out the link below. And my book, The Astrology, the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I will send you the link to study your own chart. Otherwise, bye-bye.